One, two, 1, 2. What's up? Welcome. Thank you, folks. We are back. There's the socials in the middle. I'll let you go ahead and get those down while I speak these lovely words. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. This is Edge 2 Gaming, aka Edge 2 Otaku. And why I say that is because from Twitch, everything streams out of Edge 2 Gaming, but on YouTube, we are Edge 2 Otaku, your place to go for manga and anime from all across the board, from every generation. Right now, this is One Piece. One Piece dropped on Sunday. We have not got brief spoilers yet. They'll probably drop today, but I need to play catch up. Internet connection has been bad. A lot of shit been going on, but we're here for this stream. So let's go ahead and do our live read. Let's get rid of the socials. If you don't know where to go by now, just continue to follow the page. If you are an Amazon Prime user, you have a free subscription every single month. We use it. If you go to the page, at the bottom of the page, there are channels that I follow and support. Those are my friends. If you are already supporting this channel, and next month you want to support somebody else, check out one of their channels and choose who to use your free Amazon Prime subscription on. If you have not used it yet, why not use it now on Edge 2 Gaming? This chapter, Emu lore to Loki, Luffy punches Emu, and Brook and Gunko, aka Shuri lore, as we find out about her real father, and we get to see and hear the real text, what they talked about. So we're going to get into this now, and remember, we have brief spoilers, full spoilers, where I read those to you. We come up with theories and predictions for the rest of the chapter and the next one. Then there's TCB scans to the official read, to where we're seeing what translations have changed. And usually I get the context from a native Japanese speaker, but he actually took a break this week on this chapter. So the context from this chapter won't come until later. So we are going to just do a straight read for chapter 1186. So let's go ahead and jump right in. I'll be reading this way. You guys see it on the screen. We do this every single week, so you can see what's going on. I had to pull my thumbnail from here. But here we go. 1186 one more time. And we have Loki. Reader request. Loki secretly drawing a picture of Ida, and Ida secretly enjoying it, by Sanadongo. As we get into this chapter, we start where the chaos ended. I described this to you in the TCB scans, but here you have it now. Esperia in fucking flames. Never give up. Our only path to survival is independence. And the guard, the battle convoy that Brook commands, is trying to fight the world government off, and they are dying in the streets. And this is fucking with Brook. Huh? His head is swirling as he made his way to where Shuri and King Leuven were, and he sees a mysterious figure smoking, Shuri in demon form, and then Marcus Mars with them eyes looking him in the back. You know he is controlled by Emu, because look! On top of his head, bam, Emu is here just like he has been seen before on Saturn. And we continue. Brook, someone call the medic. His Majesty is in critical condition. Bro, hang in there, bro. You're going to be okay. As he tries to just do anything for Leuven that he can. And look, as he gets closer, looking at the injuries, looking at the wound, remembering his past. Bro, he said, are you a fan of mine, old man? And remember, this is the first conversation they had. Hey, I'm not that old, Leuven says. And Brook is just getting ready, tearing up, tired, and we see them in the junkyard. Yo ho ho ho, Brook says. I guess I'll call you bro instead. And then they're seen there laughing the moment that Brook had a new family. And this is the moment that he lost that family that took him in. Bro! And Emu's just looking like, what you bitching about? He didn't do what he was told. This is what happens. We know this. And Brook continues, hey, didn't anyone hear me call for a damn medic? This was an inconvenient time for an interruption, Emu says. Slam as the door slams closed. Nobody does it but Emu. Brook, that man is already dead, Shuri says as she looks at him. He's huffing and puffing, more tears and snot coming out of his face, pointing at the man that's just chilling with a cig. He goes, you there. Who are you? What have you done to Princess Shuri? I've been watching over this girl since she was a newborn baby. I know she's not capable of that kind of bloodshed. I know everything about the princess. Shuri jumps in his way. But Brook, did you know that I was a celestial dragon, she says, as he lowers his sword in shock and awe. Leuven dead on the floor. Did you know that this man was not my real father? Stop calling him this man, Brook says, and he goes, huh? What are you talking about? You are King Reuven's legitimate daughter and heir, of course. Shuri goes, where's the proof? Proof? You don't need proof between parents and their children, Brook yells. And then Shuri says, yes, you do. It would have made a huge difference in my life. I've now wasted 16 years I could have spent as a celestial dragon. Do you understand how angry I am? They demanded 1,000 slaves. Wrong. That was because this wretch refused to hand me over. Don't call him that, Brook says. Shuri goes, he's a terrible king who let his people die for nothing. And this is something that we don't see from Celestials, having like a heart for other people, but like maybe they view royalty should be better than that. Because they didn't view Harold like that, but he was a giant, and giants were like fucking savages according to them. Giants were just warriors, didn't take no bullshit from the world government is what it was. We continue. That's why he had to pay the price. If the king dies, the war is over, Shuri says. But if we lose, then the country becomes a lawless wasteland, Brooks yells. And she says, that doesn't matter to me anymore. And then we see, bam, Knights of God, Saint Manmire Goro. I remember you. Kendall Squire, the boy with the poofy hair. Not that you were ever allowed that to get close to me. I like Afro better. I don't like the poofy hair, but whatever. And Brooks like, oh! He goes, your eyes, as he looks, because we saw it right here. This was that heterochromia, I think it's called, where two different color eyes. He's looking, he's on the ground, and he goes, normally I wouldn't come to a backwater like this just to recover a singly measly whelp, which he's talking about his daughter, but her bipolar irises are an extremely rare trait, and the Great One desires her. While it may not have awakened for me, and this is I said this before, that we keep seeing that people want to have kids that awaken powers that have not been awakened yet for their own gain. He continues, Saint Manmire Goro says, perhaps she can, and then Nemo says, thou speaketh too much, Goro. Oh, my apologies, Great One. Make it quick, Shuri. He's not trembling. I mean, he could be trembling, but he seems like he's a chill guy. I just want to throw that in there. He turns away, and Shuri looks dead ahead at Brook as Brook has tears and dirt and blood streaming down his face as he fought his ass off to make it to Shuri and the king to protect both of them. She spreads her wing. She spreads her wings. She goes, this can't be real. He says, I must be dreaming. Step. He said, I changed your diapers. I know everything about you, Princess Shuri. As the tears in his face continue to contort more, she just emotionlessly walks her ass straight to him. And she goes, don't act like I owe you anything, and stop that pathetic sniveling. I want the protection of people stronger than you. And if I get to go to the Holy Land, then I no longer have any need of you, she says, as Brook holds his sword up, ready to defend himself, but then starts to lower it as more tears and snot cover his face. As he remembers his view of Shuri when they were walking, you were always the perfect little angel. And now he sees her getting ready to thrust at him, but now you look more like a devil. Gavante, and he looks at King Reuven's face in his mind at one of the happiest moments in his life. I failed to protect my bro, the man who saved my life. He drops his sword. Shuri starts to thrust forward. The sword hits the ground. Bon en avant. And we see Brook stabbed through the head on his knees in front of Shuri. As he sings in his head, oh, cows and frogs and slaves and kings, we're all born when we die. We're all bones when we die. We're all bones in the end. That's all there is to say. And we see the silhouette of Brook with Shuri's sword through his head. He hits the floor thud as Shuri and her father, Saint Manmire Shuri and Manmire Goro walk away. That's her daddy. Next, we see the battle convoy, the survivors. Captain Brook, he's awake. Oh, it's a miracle, they say, as they're all bandaged up. Brook's sitting there, his mustache and beard has grown. I've never seen anyone survive with a sword stuck through their head. So, again, it said a sword stuck through their head. Shuri left with her sword in hand, correct? So it's just the strike. But this also gives us hope for Geralt that he can survive getting his legendary sword pulled out of his head on Elbaph. The sword somehow managed to avoid all the major arteries in your brainstem. So where's the king, Brook says, to cut off his soldier. Or he cuts off the doctor. And Brook's holding his head. He's, I don't know much. I don't know how much you remember, Captain. Look, we shouldn't tell him too much. It might rattle him. And Brook's like, ouch, as he grabs his head. And he's like, no, tell me the truth, he says. We lost Captain. As we see, Esperia is in shambles. It's just rubble now. The king's death sealed it, they say. And then someone witnessed Princess Shuri being put onto a government ship. And Brook, remembering it, is just flooding back into his mind. Many civilians have already fled the country. But what country will take in all these refugees? Ah! As he remembers Leuven laying down on the floor. Ah! He yells. His yells echo throughout all of Esperia that is dead and has lost his king and is no longer a nation of Esperia. They say, oh no, he's bleeding again. Hold on, Captain, stay still. Brook lays back, wound open, blood dripping down his head with his tears. Captain, Captain, they say, and they cannot break him out of this traumatic state. And then we see him in the future here on Elbaph, present day, hand on his head shaking with tears coming out of his like eye socket, his orbit. And Brook goes, back then I didn't even know about the existence of devil fruits. I always thought that I had hallucinated what happened. Such was the shock I suffered at seeing my savior dead on the ground. And we see just Brook piecing all this together with the Straw Hats, as now after 90-something years, he's getting answers. Oh, it's not total 90, but that's how old he is. And he continues, and the terror I felt at the changed princess, her new demonic visage. If those were not illusions, but real memories, my friends, as Luffy and Usopp look shocked, as he cries even more, his tears are dripping. Do you think it would be all right? Jinbei stares. Usopp stares. Nami's tearing up and staring. Frankie's already crying as much as Brook. If I had faith in Princess Shuri just one more time. And we see, off in a block of ice, still trapped, Gunko, Shuri with her hand out. If she happens to be a victim in all of this, Brook says, and he remembers her saying, run, Brook, before she got taken over by Imu, she's still stuck in the ice, upside down. And he remembers her, because I'm Papa and Mama's daughter, as she pouted because she wanted Brook to love her for her. He continues, she's still trapped in the ice. Brook yells, I want to save Princess Shuri, as tears and snot run down his face like it did all those years ago on Esperia. May I ask for your help in achieving this goal, as we see the Straw Hats with their Nakama, as he bows his head asking for their help. And without hesitation, my boy Jinbei cracks his knuckles. Do you really need to ask? Let's hurry up and break that block of ice. Nami, pissed mode. Maybe lightning will work on it. And then Frankie crying, I'll use my radical beam and melt it in one go, which, with his new cola, could happen. If ice cannot be broken except for by Ragnar, then they're going to have to go see Loki, which means Luffy jumping in, as we know he does at the end of this chapter, is going to give Loki a chance to help his fellow Nakama. And Usopp looking frantically side to side. I don't think I should use explosives. What can I do to help? You already know how I feel about it. And I don't even feel good about feeling this way, but it is what it is, But Usopp has not done anything just yet. We see Brook take off running like he does when he's running across water, and Frankie's like, hey, wait up, Brook. And he goes, why? He's crying as he's running over to the block of ice. Then we go over to the cafeteria at the Walrus School. We hear Luffy finishing up eating. He's like, I'm all full. The bad news guy is Elbaph's new enemy, right? As he breathes heavily. Then that means, after Brook had this heartwarming moment with the Straw Hats, Luffy has this heart-pumping moment as he throws off his boots, and we see that his chanclas were on underneath his Elbaph footwear. He's going in with the sandals, ready to whoop ass, still eating the last of his meat. He's like, he's my enemy. I'm overflowing with strength, and he pushes off of the tree at the cafeteria. Right now, I can't see anyone beating me. And then we head over to Loki and Imu. Loki standing, breathing heavily. Quit going after the kids. You world government folks sure do fight dirty. And Imu goes, dost thou not know why? And Loki's confused. He says, shall I teach thee? 800 years ago, thy kind suffered defeat in order to save thy children. Imu reveals. And then we see, as it seems like Loki's looking up even higher at him with Ragnar pulled back, lightning around Ragnar. He's like, what do you mean 800 years ago? Imu says, the nature of race does not change in mere centuries. And then we see the kids, 4 children that are held by the MMA Zaza, the rain goddess Zaza. He continues, simply abduct thy children, and I can control thy at will. Then we see Dory and Brogy have joined the fight with Sanji against Zaza. Thou may not know what is happening to thee, but history repeats regardless. It is already too late. Thou art my slave. And in that moment, Loki in defiance says, what is he talking about? You get out. And Loki's surprised, like, huh? Because that's not Loki yelling, you get out. It's a little speck right behind Loki, but we can see it right between him and Ragnar. And then we see Luffy's face as he has jettisoned himself, pissed off. Imu is shocked and in surprise. And Luffy finishes his sentence. You get out of Elbaph right now as he hits Imu in the face. Imu's eye turns from a pupil to clear white, conquers hockey, coding his fist, beating ass on arrival. This is giving Loki the chance to rest because Loki's beat up too. And to help the Straw Hats release Gunko. And if her memory is back, and the only way it will stop is by Imu taking her over, then Brook can talk to her, get more information. Do I think she's going to be a Straw Hat? I think she's going to be a rescue mission because Imu has that hold on Gunko. But this gets them to marry Joa because it's like, why would Luffy and them go there? This makes them go there. And if Robin gets kidnapped or any of the kids, that also. But I think, again, being there for a friend, we see the Straw Hats never give up. These motherfuckers were trying to get back to Luffy because of what was going on with Ace. These motherfuckers went to Whole Cake Island because of Sanji. They formed a whole plan and had a collaboration again. So between Loki and everything that's going on here, I think we're about to see the driving force on why we're going to marry Joa. Now, I think we have 2 more chapters here with Imu, Luffy, and the gang before we start heading to the end of this chapter and we start figuring out where they're going next. But what are your thoughts about this chapter? How do you feel? I enjoyed this chapter a lot, like getting more context, learning what was actually said between characters, watching Loki, Imu, and all of them get down and just hearing how Imu talks and Imu, feeling cocky enough to give away this. He's like, it's going to happen again. I'm already here. I can't get Gunko out of the ice. That's fine. I'll take you over. I'll control you. Then I'll get her out. Like, Imu's not really worried, but shit's pissing him off. And the Straw Hats have leveled up. Because Luffy, I don't think this was the same Luffy we got when they first got to Elbaph. I think we're going to get an explanation as of why time changes or people think time flies or what is happening to Elbaph and why Elbaph is so big in the first place. I think it all is wrapped up into one. It all has something to do. Maybe the giants, ancient giants, were just giants or humans that grew over time because of the energy, because of the special properties in Elbaph. But I digress. What are your thoughts? What are your predictions? Let me know. Put those in the comments below. Thank you for joining me. This has been the live read for 1186. I've got shit to do and I've got to go, but I will be back with brief spoilers as soon as they drop for you guys because I'm excited to see there is no break between 1186 and 1187. So brief spoilers should be out fairly quick within the next day or two, and then full spoilers. So prepare for those streams. We'll come back, make some more predictions. My prediction for next chapter, we're getting half of the chapter. Ooh, we still got Zoro and Sanji fight, so we're gonna get Luffy and Imu because Luffy didn't give a fuck what was being said. We were getting straight lore that could have led to, defeating Imu or some kind of information. Luffy don't never give a fuck. Luffy came in straight punching. We're going to get some of that fight. Then we're going to go back to Zaza and see Sanji with Killingham, Dory, and Brogy and the rest of the Giants with Zaza. And we're going to get into Zoro and Saint Somers fights. and a little bit of Loki. I think the beginning with Luffy and Emu, Loki backs off and goes with the other Straw Hats, where they figure out they need him. Somehow they start that kind of connection. Then 1188, I think we get them going back to Ragnar, to Gunko, freeing her, and then some more steps towards Emu and the Knights of God going back to Merijois, and the Straw Hats getting ready to leave Elbaph and then follow them, or go somewhere else to get help to go to Merijois. But it's the Straw Hats. If a friend's missing, if something's going on, most likely they're going straight there. And unless the Straw Hats split up again, which it's almost time for them to split up. They've been together, I mean, relatively close together. We're all on branch 8. They have been split up in Elbaph, and we're going to come back here. So maybe they'll be together for a journey before they split up. Let me know what you think. Thank you guys so much. I'm Elijah 5000. This is Edge 2 Otaku, your place for anime and manga. We will have watch parties coming back soon. I say soon just because I'm not sure what's going on with Patreon. That's primarily how we're trying to do it, so that way you guys can watch full episodes. But Patreon's fucking up. So if that doesn't work, I had to figure out finagle another way so we can watch these anime, because there's been some good shit. We got to get on. I've been watching some soccer anime, trying to determine what's the best soccer anime, and I think I want to take you guys on that journey with me. But I'm Elijah 5000, and I will check you out and catch your ass in the next stream. Peace.